Welcome back, viewer, to Chungu cha Jamii. Today we are talking about adult and continuing education. What are the challenges you face when you are not educated literate? What is the bridge that you feel that you need to fill in for you to be able to be accepted in our society and in the current generation in matters to do with education? Send in your question, your comments across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. So before we went on a break, we were talking about the comfortability that the senior citizens get when they come to the centers. Now, I had asked a question on the adult education. If I want to be a teacher and I want to have a school, for me to have a school, I need certain documents. How is there a structured system or syllabus where I'll come and talk and say, I want to achieve this in a span of an year or in a span of 6 months? Is there a system structured for that, just to ensure that I have a continuous flow of learning to be able to achieve the target that I have in the shortest time possible?
You call those bureaucracies in the education curriculum. Actually, it has been a very tiresome journey because you find that it reached a place for you to become a teacher. You need to have an education background, meaning you have to go to the teaching colleges. And for you to join a teacher's college, you must have done KCP, you must have done KCSE, then you join that. So that led now adult education to open the aspect of continuing education, whereby somebody will have to undertake KCP if you did not have it, or you undertake KCSE if you dropped out at secondary school. So at the onset of the program, of the continuing education program, we envisaged to have an accelerated curriculum whereby our learners, instead of taking 8 years in primary school, they would take something like 3 years because they already know what they want and they can study harder. And instead of taking 4 years in secondary, that they would take 2 years. But then this was again thwarted by some bureaucracy somewhere where they decided that people have to follow the channel of the 4 years in secondary. And this, to one aspect, was our own undoing by Kenyans, because it reached somewhere where parents decided they want to take a shortcut. Your child is in class 6. You think you have tuitioned your child very well, and you want to bring them to the other side to come and sit for KCP early, and then you want again to rush them to do KCSE early, plus coupled with the exam stealing and all that. So that brought us back again to that issue of you just got to have your KCP certificate, so you can get your KCP certificate in 2 years if you study very well. But when it comes to KCSE, you just have to do the 4 years. So the accelerated curriculum was thwarted there, although it's something still being followed. And the directorate is working on it. We are hoping in the new curriculum that is coming up, which will be, because we have informed, the working party got our views that we need to at least look at our curriculum, review it, and make it tailor-made for adult learners. So we hope, with the move from the issue of certificates in CBC, from KCP to CBC, we are going to have something specific for adults. We hope that will be catered so that they can consider that they don't have a long time to stay in class. Yeah.
Allow me to read this question. We had asked before about the topic that we are going to have today, and this is the question from one of our viewers. So is asking, how can adult education contribute to personal growth and self-improvement? Maybe the teacher can help us to answer that.
Okay, I think there's a lot that you can get from education, yeah? From basic of being a good citizen, from the basis of being intelligent, and all these aspects are the benefits of education. So when someone is educated, there are a possibility that the next generation, they'll be educated. For instance, if you educate a mother, you don't expect her not to educate his or her children. So the continuity of education will continue. And we are moving from a society that is chasing, or we are now eradicating illiteracy to a point that at maybe by 2030 we will be a literate nation. We will have people who are literate all over, and this will make also governing or ruling the country much easier, because now you'll have people who can follow things, who can understand things, and who can now be productive as part of the nation.
You've mentioned something very crucial about being a literate nation, and it has brought me to this concern. We're in the digital era.
Yeah.
What is the role of being tech literate when it comes to the adult learning? Are they embracing it, and what roles is the tech playing in adult education?
Okay, what I can just say, even if they seem as latecomers in joining the technologies, they'll have to, and the system is forcing them now to embrace that. Currently, some years back, you could not use M-Pesa. M-Pesa was or any money transfer was alien to us. But currently, even our grandmothers are using that. Our grandmothers are now having phones. So that kind of continuous learning will have to be there. Currently, I can say, recently with the Ministry of Education, everything was sent to cybers, including the letters for admission in school, all these things. You are told to go and download. So parents had no option but to learn how to do things from the cyber. You are told your invitation letter, go and download it. Your fee structure, go and download it. All this, go and get them from the cyber. So if you don't have people who are knowledgeable in computer, at first you'll spend money. Then at the second time you say, why do I have to spend 500 or 1,000 shillings to get an invitation letter? Why don't I learn the skill and then I do it for free? Then we also have the CBC, encouraging parents to do homework with their kids. Now imagine now you are a parent and you don't know what you are going to help, how you are going to help your kid. So it is the system, or the system is currently forcing parents and people who didn't get a chance to learn to go back to school.
Wow, that one is so interesting. Coming to you, madam, as the director, what are the roles that the government play when it comes to adult education?
Before I answer that, I want to add something. A writer said that the illiterate of the 21st century is not somebody who cannot read and write, but that person who cannot unlearn what they know, learn, and then relearn. There are changes that are coming. What have we learned from COVID? Is it what you knew in the past? So there are changes that are keeping on coming, and technology plays a very, very key role. If everybody in Kenya was technologically literate, controlling COVID would have been very easy, because we would have just been posting information there, and they read and they know what step to take and how to go about it. But look at us, we were still waiting. What has the CS said today? We are waiting for news at 9, at 1 p.m. and at 4, and time is lapsing. So in between here, many things are going wrong. So we've got to learn. What we learn, we have to unlearn it and then relearn. And then what is the government, what are the government offer, what is the policy of the government on adult education? there are policies in place, because for any government program to be delivered, it is supported by policy. And there is a 2010 Adult and Continuing Education Policy, which stipulates very clearly how we mobilize our resources, how we get to run the program, and with who. So the government has been supporting this program by giving reading and writing, reading materials, and also providing the personnel. We are employed by the government, paid by the taxpayers of Kenya, the instructors the same. Their trainings, and also through our structure, we are able to link with other government directorates to provide services to the local person. Because it is through this policy of adult education that somebody in, for example, children department or social services, comes, or agriculture, identifies the gaps in the community, why they cannot meet their targets. Then adult education comes in to help them, because you'll find they're unable to meet the targets because of a certain level of illiteracy. So the policies are there, the government is funding, giving instructors, training them, and even providing teaching learning materials. And though it's providing on a certain scale, also NGOs and other private providers are playing a role in that.
Thank you so much. So, viewer, I hope you've had the point on be able and be ready to unlearn what you have learned, learn what you don't know, and relearn. Keep sending in your question, your comments across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. We'll be back shortly.